Hey guys, welcome back to the Foreign Group Podcast. As you can see, Ben's back again. Dom's not here. Don't know where he's at, but Ben's filled in for him. We were planning on having Mateo on. Mateo couldn't make it today, so once again we have Ben. Twitters are right below.
And if you don't know who Mateo is, just know he's a great guy. He's a stand-up guy.
My fucking chopped liver? Jesus Christ.
Ben's just like our...
I'm your fucking fallback option.
Yeah,
even
like,
though I get the most views on your podcast, you pieces of shit.
Actually,
all right.
not
all right, well, all right.
And then
the most combined views.
If you want to really talk, who's got the most?
It's the boys.
It's the boys. So
yeah,
you're not really.
Let's keep going.
You're like, you're a handoff. You're like a side piece. You know.
I'm a guy you can get at least 100 views off of. That's it.
Yeah, that's debatable there too.
Damn.
Second podcast didn't do as good as the first.
Ben, I just want to say we literally had to delete a podcast because YouTube didn't want it to do good.
It's what it is, man. All I know is I'm dropping heat on this podcast, no matter if anyone listens to it or not. Like, I know I make the best podcast with you motherfuckers. Because, listen, you can have fucking Grant Laney, yada, 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 on here talking about his fucking truck and his job and all that lame-ass shit. You can do that. And you can have Joe Rowe on here talking and no one can understand him because his voice is fucking 6 octaves too deep. You can have all that shit. Or you can have the man on here, the kid, Bennett Wogan, and he's going to talk some real shit and everyone's going to
Hold up. You said
the man that you can't see.
Bennett Wogan, the kid.
Yeah.
Also. You just called yourself a man and a kid.
Well,
so I'm gonna let you be a kid.
Listen, they call me the kid because I'm like Billy the Kid. I'm a badass. I'm a cowboy. You know that.
But then
they call me the quarterback of podcasting. That's what they call me. And you saw me throwing passes today. It's fucking ridiculous.
If you're the quarterback, you're the shot caller?
Yeah.
But this is our podcast.
I come on this podcast when I want in my fucking spare time, all right? So let's get this going, man.
All right. What do you guys want to talk about first? Because there's some things that we don't want to touch on just because...
Listen, man. This is why... We were talking about this before. We don't want to touch on the whole riots. We don't want to touch on that because we're not the people that should be talking about it. We're just 3 guys getting together making a silly podcast. I mean...
Our opinions
we touch on... our opinion's not going to be like an educated opinion. It's not going to be a great opinion no matter what side we take. So we don't want to, we just don't want to fucking touch on it. That's it.
Yeah, we'll let the people who actually know what to do with the situation to act on it. We're not. So that's all we really got to say on that. But
here's getting long, huh?
Yeah, actually, speaking of that, I think the haircut places started to open up.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Did you cut out?
Yeah.
Figure it out, buddy.
I forgot to switch internets before we started here.
They call me Nature Boy Ben Wogan. Let's go.
Wait, what? What are you on about? You have like 8 different nicknames.
Well,
the guy, the
I
kid.
I live in like 8 different places, so every group of people I hang with, they have a different nickname for me because I'm just that prolific, and that's just what it is. Like, it's not a bet. Like, it's not an insult to you guys. It's just you have a celebrity on your podcast. How about you start acting like you pieces of shit?
Wait, we're having a celebrity on? Who's that?
More like...
Oh, man. Come on, dude.
I think you're just stumbling on here like you're the man. Shit, huh?
That's exactly.
Whose podcast is this? Huh?
It's your podcast. I got to start a podcast and just like grow it bigger than your piece of shit podcast.
I mean, you were talking about it when we were down at the field. You were talking about how you wanted to do one.
Yeah, I wanted to, but, it never really worked out. Because the people I want to do it with are fucking scumbags, and that's cool. I know a lot of scumbags. I have a lot of scumbags in my life, just in general.
Me and Colton, it was me down.
You guys are
Alex.
cool.
We talked about it for a while, and then Colton sparked the idea up, and then that's all. You just gotta find somebody you vibe with, to be honest.
I vibe with a lot of people, but most of them are degenerates, like I
said.
Dude,
Dom, me and you should... I just called you Dom. How much I miss Dom. But Ben, me and you should just, like, start one, man. I mean, Who says I can't do 2 podcasts, dude?
You say it because listen, Colton, you're a good guy, but you don't have that fucking much to say to have 2 podcasts. You piece of dog shit. You have to have 3 people on your guys' podcast to get through.
I don't
30
have that
minutes.
much to say for 2 podcasts where we drop 3 podcasts every week. Get off my
Damn.
tip, guy.
All right. Well, listen.
Yeah. I don't want to hear it. I was trying to be nice.
The thing
But
we
now
were
I'm
talking
not.
about at the field when I was tossing Cole the football is I wanted to talk about my experience on acid.
Oh yeah.
And Cole,
we had a
Cole
whole
is-
conversation on this.
yeah.
Which I still
Cole
haven't done
was,
I haven't done any
very-
research on it.
You haven't done your research, so let me fucking
Because
educate your
this
ass.
is like 20 minutes ago. But while you're talking, I'll look a little bit up as you describe.
So
the
listen.
story.
Me,
Wait, what do you mean haven't done your research? You're just going to research acid?
No. Just I was trying because like what he's gonna say.
I mean,
He'll-
I've
he'll
only
get
ever,
into it.
like, only hardcore drug I've ever done was with mushrooms, and I've done that twice, and it's a good time.
there you go. So, fuck off, Cole.
Okay,
You know, look at you.
Tell your story
It-
and then
It's a good time, dude.
I'll
The
do what
trees
I
look
need,
like they're
okay?
like pieces of paper that just keep waving around in the wind, and it's great. And then the grass looks
that's-
like it's long tentacles just coming out the ground, man. It's a great time.
Yeah, man. And I wanted to talk about my experience because I feel like a lot of people, are scared to try hallucinogens because, they have a little bit of a negative stigma about them.
I mean, they're
Because of
legal in
people like-
Jamaica.
Yeah, because it's just of people like Cole who are closed-minded and they're fucking religious and they're white and, all this shit that
You're
I hate
white,
about
too.
the world.
Come on now.
Yeah, you would have shook the cop's hand that beat the shit out of George Floyd, you piece of shit.
No,
Anyways.
No.
Yeah, you would have.
No.
You're a Christian. You think the world was created 10,000 years ago and it's flat. That's what you think.
It was created a long time ago and it's round.
You think it's flat and you think
Wait,
God is up there
shook the
making the
cop's
lights
hand.
come up every morning.
Oh, aren't you supposed to be talking
You know
about
that.
your story?
Yes, I am. And you
Okay.
get me sidetracked every time. Jesus
I
you
haven't
would've
been
Christ.
shook the
talking. I was
cop's
doing
hand.
some-
You're a
I
piece
was-
of... All right.
uh,
Listen, you fucking... I got out of hand there. I flew off the handle. Sorry. Let me get back to it. So, Mateo hits me up one day, right? Mateo, the guy who's supposed to be on the podcast. I kind of want to talk about him because he's supposed to be on the podcast,
Yeah,
but he's
something,
late.
something
and he's not
natural.
here.
Something
It's
natural.
fine. So I'll tell you Mateo's story. Me, Mateo, and our other friend Martin. You guys know Martin. I don't know. The
He's a
audience
cool
might.
guy.
The audience might not. He's a good kid. We've gone to school with him our whole lives. One of my best friends. And he was like, "You want to do acid?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course." Because I know Mateo Lopez won't steer me wrong, even though he has a lot, and it's fine. But I go to his house, and we're just hanging out, and he pulls out the product, he pulls out the goods. Like, let's do it. We drop it, take a sip of water, and you just let it sink in. The first 20 minutes, I'm like, okay, this is whatever. It's not that bad. It's just like the colors changed a little bit. The tints of the colors just slightly changed. And he was like, let's go walk around. Like, yeah, let's go walk around. It sounds like a good time. Because when you're on acid, you don't realize it, but your inhibitions lower. So you're just down for anything, really. So, we start walking. And when you're walking down the street, or at least this was how it was for me, I was walking, and as I looked down the street the whole way, it looked like it never ended, and it just looked like it curved up at the end, like the world was fucking flat. It was weird. It was super
so you
weird.
think the world's flat, not me.
No, I don't think the world's flat. Listen,
And you think
listen to
that's
my
why
story.
all the flat earthers believe in flat Earth because they're all on
Oh.
acid?
No, Jesus Christ, guys,
I don't know if you want to piss off that
Tighten up.
that set of people.
tighten
Fuck
up.
that set of people.
Hey.
I mean, I called them retards on 2 podcasts ago, so they can eat my dick.
Well,
Tighten
Not
up.
literally,
let's
but
get
they
focused together.
can.
So we're walking down the street, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
when I'm walking, I just see this set image, and it just keeps getting closer and closer. Like, the world around me is not actually happening to me in that moment. It's just what I can see in front of me with my 2 eyes. That's it. but it's fairly normal. Like, I'm not peaking yet. You know what I'm saying? It's the first hour or two of my trip. So I'm just feeling good. I'm having a couple visuals here and there. The lights are real bright. That's why you got to wear sunglasses when you're tripping.
That's a train, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
I live by a railroad track. Get used to
Live
it.
in the fucking boonies.
Yeah, I live in
fine.
the sticks, dude.
I do
It's
as well.
fine.
You live where Jesus lost his sandals. Anyways, let's get back to the fucking point, man. We're sitting at this park, right? We finally get there. It feels like the walk takes like an hour, but it
Dude,
doesn't. I mean,
loud-ass
it was
train.
probably like, yeah, it was probably like 5 minutes, but
That train is loud.
Do you just want to like wait for it to leave and then you can finish
No,
and Cole can
no.
just edit it
I
out?
think you're good now. I think you're good
no,
now.
we're fine. We keep going. We don't edit this. This is raw. This is real, bro.
All right, what were you saying?
All right. So we're at this park, right?
Yeah.
And like honestly, the visual, it was so beautiful. And I've been back to this park since when I'm sober. And the park, listen, it's a nice park, but it's like, you know, it's just a regular park in Kankakee. Like it's nothing special. But when I was on acid, it was like I was in heaven. Literally. The light was coming through the trees just in a perfect way, and it was making these weird patterns on the ground. And I was just sitting on the bench, me, Mateo, Martin. We were all just sitting there having these fucking amazing in-depth conversations about life and what it means and what this reality we're in, what it means, and if it's real or if it's just a figment of our imagination. And like if it's always there, we just have to tap into it with this chemical that we put in our body. You know what I'm saying? Where did Cole go? I was getting in a groove and I just see him walk away. Like,
It's fine. Just keep going.
all right. Well,
I'm back.
so we're hanging there, you know. And Mateo's like, you want to take a rip off my dab pen? And I was like, for sure. And so I did. And it was a really deep fucking, I took a deep inhale, deep drag, and I let it out.
You took a fat rip.
And yeah, and then I let it out, and Mateo was like, man, I'm tripping. I'm like, why? He's like, that just came out as fucking rainbows out of your mouth. And I'm like, geez, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. So we moved,
That came
we
out
moved
as
to the other
rainbows.
side of the park, and there was these tennis courts, and you could see up in the sky, and it was like the world was so fucking huge, but yet the only thing that mattered was in that park, right in that fucking moment. That's the only thing I could think of, and that's the only thing I could even imagine was right there. And I was just looking at the tennis courts, and they just looked like they went on forever. Like it looked like they kept multiplying and going off into the distance. And then I looked up at the sky, and I saw this figure that like was just all across the sky. It was insane. Like I've never seen anything like it in my life. And I asked both of them, like, are you seeing what I'm seeing right now? And they're like, yeah, we're all seeing the same thing, man. It's beautiful, isn't it? Like we were all just in agreement. It was the greatest. Like it was one of the greatest days. It started to take a turn when we left that park, though.
Turn for the bad.
A little bit, because I started to sober up, but I was still not there.
Wait, hold up. If you started to sober up, how long were you at the park?
Like 5 hours.
So
We were there for a long, long time.
and this was like midday.
Midday, yeah.
So
It was getting a little dark. It was the middle of last summer, so
So wait, you guys were just sitting on a bench, or
yeah.
So
We were just
nobody suspected you guys were, on
No.
anything or
Well,
what you guys
what
were
would
doing?
you think if you just seen
A guy
like
sitting,
if you're
Might have
just a passerby?
they might have suspected something.
3 guys sitting on a park bench for 5 hours?
Oh, I forgot to
True.
tell you the best part of that park. So we went over to the last bench. There was 3 benches in the park. We sat at all 3 of them. That was the second bench I told you about. The third bench was by the river. And we were looking out at the river. We were looking out at the river. This was the last bench. And we were looking out at the river, and it was just like the water looked like gold because the sun was beaming down on it. And there was just this boat going around in circles, and it just looked like it was going in slow motion, and it was pulling this lady behind it, and it just looked like everything was fucking perfect. It was like, honestly, it was beautiful. And I wish I could
Dude,
fucking
you're making me sad that I wasn't there.
honestly, it was one of the greatest experiences of my life, and it was the most simple things that just like stuck out to me and stay with me to this day. But anyways, it started to take a little bit of a turn when we started walking home, and Mateo was like, "Let's go to this other park. We'll sit there. We'll fucking
We'll
light
just go
up
from this
park."
park after 5 hours
Yeah.
to this park for, some more.
And we were sitting at this other park for about an hour, but it felt like so long. Like,
Wait. You guys
so on the way there,
Did you guys walk to the other park?
yeah,
Okay.
we're not gonna drive. We were in another planet. Like, we couldn't drive. Are you fucking kidding me? But
had to make sure.
we walked to this other park, and I started to like get flashes of real life in the middle of my trip. So I would be walking down the street and everything would be beautiful and sunny and amazing, but then it would like flash and there would be these people looking at me, and like everything would go kind of dark and become like realistic, and I'd be like, okay, well, my trip's kind of ending, so I gotta just let me just ride this out. So I took another drag off the dab pen, and I just went back to the special place. And so when we got to the park, though, like it started turning, like my trip started getting a little worse, because we sat down and we tried to. They were having a conversation. I was sitting in the middle. They were having a conversation in between me, and like I would look back and forth at them, and I understood what they were saying, but I also couldn't at the same time, because I just like
You just weren't
couldn't.
comprehending it.
Yeah, I wasn't comprehending their conversation. And like every time I looked forward, I would just see their two faces, and they would be like contorting and like going in on themselves and then coming back, and it was freaking me out like bad. And and Mateo just kept repeating himself. He kept saying, "What's that noise over there? What's that noise over there? What's that noise over there?" But he was saying it in real life. Like, I've talked to him since about this, and he was like, "Yeah, I was tweaking. I just kept saying, what's that noise over there?" But he kept saying it, and it was freaking me out and made me so paranoid. I was like, what's going on? Are people going to kill us? Like, I don't know what's going on. But, man, it was so crazy, because I saw all these different realities in front of me right there as the conversation was happening. Like, I was seeing, like, boxes going like in my field of vision. It was so crazy. I was seeing like boxes of different conversations that Mateo and Martin were having together, and I was just sitting there and watching them. It was so crazy.
At least you.
They were like, they had like
And
word
like
bubbles.
once they would ask me a question, I would like zoom into one of the boxes, and I would like come back into my body, and I'd be like, "What? What'd you say?"
It's like that one episode of SpongeBob where it's like dream changing. You would like go to one dream to the other.
Yeah, it was a little bit like that, but it was like I was imagining all the different scenarios of the conversation.
Well, at least
And
you saw
like
the good part and then the bad part. Because like, I mean, if you only saw the good part, what would stop you from taking it again and again and again? You know.
I will take it again and again and again, because that good part is literally like you're in heaven.
But are you guaranteed on getting that good part?
Yeah, if I'm with my friends and I'm in a good headspace and I'm feeling good and I don't have any emotions inside of me that would make me have a bad trip, then yeah.
So then,
It's all
the
about
trick
what
with
you project.
hallucinogens, and it's the same with what's it called? The same with mushrooms. Like you just gotta be like, you gotta, right when you take it and like leading into your trip, you just gotta be not paranoid. Like you just gotta be
You have to
good
be not
state of
paranoid,
mind.
but you
Yeah.
also have to not have any inner demons that you haven't dealt with, because they will come to the forefront. And that's what I was dealing with at the second park.
yeah.
I was dealing with a little bit of like hidden insecurity about like not being part of the conversation and not understanding what Mateo and Martin were talking about. I felt very insecure, and I felt like they could have exploited me, but they're my good friends. So they understood and they let me have my moment, and then we just went on with our day. You know what I'm saying? But let's say I wasn't in that situation. Let's say I was in that situation with a complete stranger or someone I just met and they wanted to do some drugs, and I was like, yeah. It would have been harder for me to realize that it wasn't a threatening situation. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're on drugs like that, you become very paranoid.
So
No
how
matter
did
what,
you
like
go from having a great time to then your trip ending and then starting again, but then you had a bad trip?
it was a weird process. I don't really know how
Because
it
I don't get
happened.
how you can go from having a great time to just a,
I wasn't having necessarily a bad time. It was just a different emotion.
or how can you
And I
go from
don't
a good trip
I
to a
look
bad
at
trip?
it I look at it like this, man. It was all an amazing experience that it taught me a lot about myself. And I know a lot of people say that about a lot of different things, but it really did. It taught me a lot about who I am. It taught me that at my best, I'm just like this carefree guy who can have a great time with his friends and like not judge anybody and just like be free. But at my worst, I'm very insecure and I don't know and I don't comprehend what's going on and I need to, like I feel a need to. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people don't feel that way, but I do. I always feel like I'm kind of left out, and that's something I've had to work on since then, since I've realized it from my trip. And it's a weird thing, to say, "Oh, drugs help me" or whatever, but I feel like it made me take some things away, made me think about myself in a different space than I'm used to, because it took me out of myself. It took me away from my ego, and it took me away from the things that usually guard me from thinking about myself in that way. You know what I'm saying?
So, hold up, I want to try and tie some stuff in. Colton, have you ever taken acid?
Not acid, just mushrooms.
So, when Ben, when you were on mushrooms, did it have the same effect as LSD?
No, I did not have a good experience just because I wasn't in a good environment for it, and I was very nervous the whole time, and I
But does
just
it?
didn't.
But do you
It
have like the
didn't
same
make
effect
me. It
as
didn't have me
had
let go.
like you?
I'd say mine was somewhat similar, but not to that extent.
Like
Because I was in a good
not like
place with good
what I'm
friends,
trying to
and
say is because you had a bad trip, but then so since on
No, I
shrooms,
had a good trip. I
no,
had an amazing trip.
on what?
Acid.
Okay,
On shrooms, I had a bad trip.
but on acid you said you had a um you were starting to have a bad trip, right?
Well, I would say nah, because I took goodness away from it, so I think it's all good at the
What I
end
was
of the
just trying
day.
to see is if the bad trip from both was like kind of the same in some way.
Yeah, but I didn't realize the things I realized about myself in the first time. Because the first time I did it, I was on shrooms with this guy I barely knew, and I was very uncomfortable and I was very insecure, and I didn't know really what was going on around me. But when I did it, when I was with my good friends, and I could talk to them about like how I felt and like what I was going through, and they could do the same thing with me and the other guy. We would we would figure these things out about ourselves and each other, and you work through them in your mind in that state. But then when you sober up in the morning or the next day or the next day, whenever, you think about them, and you really have to realize that those things that you realized about yourself in those moments, those were real. It's not just because you were tripping, it's because when you take a drug like that, it lets you access your emotions and how you feel about yourself and the people around you without your ego.
it's like you can non-clip from reality,
Yeah,
like in
really.
the
I mean, it's
Matrix.
like you're outside of yourself, really. It
What was
is.
your? Because we've heard Ben's experience from it. What was your experience like, Colton?
I'm not done, dude.
Oh,
I'm
you're
not
done. Okay.
fucking done.
Well,
You think I'm done?
I kind of wanted to hear Colton's part too from it to see like,
Listen,
get a different side from
Well,
it.
mine was a completely different drug. Comparing mushrooms
No,
to
well,
acid is like comparing
because
weed to
because
meth.
no,
Ben,
it is not.
It really is.
It's
Like,
not. Listen, they're both hallucinogens. They do roughly the same thing.
I would
It's just a
say
little bit different.
mine was a good trip because I was with like people I trusted. I was in a good environment and I was like in a good state of mind before I did it. And I would say that most of the same stuff happened to me, but I was indoors. So it was like you know how like shag carpets they're just like twisty and stuff. Bro,
Yeah.
I was like literally like I would like focus on a carpet for like 30 minutes and it would just like all the like little pieces of like thread would just like come up and it would just like start moving and stuff. And then like the walls, like I have like the walls in my room are like the same walls that were in that room.
Like panel
And like
walls, yeah.
and like they would like just like start swiggling around and stuff. It just makes like stuff like more animated and like you're in a cartoon and like it's just a good time, man. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I had a good trip. Like I don't think it was like
So
life
is
changing.
it?
Like I didn't realize anything about myself, but
But is
I
it
mean,
better to be? Because like you were inside, you said that you were fine, and like you weren't outside. Is it better to be inside or to be outside when you're
I
on a trip?
wouldn't say either. Um,
Or is there
I
good
just
and
Dude,
think
I
you
bad
need
think
to
it's
still?
be with
better to
good
be, in
people.
my opinion, man, it's better to be outside. And I'll
Yeah,
explain why.
like I would have loved to be
Is it because
outside, you
there's
know,
like
like
like more to see, or is like
No, man, because this is how I feel personally. These are my personal beliefs. I think we have over the years as technology has gotten better and yada yada yada, we've really lost our connection with nature. When you take something like acid, it puts you right back in that state of just like feeling like you're one with the world, really. Like you feel like you belong and you feel like you have a connection to the sun and the grass and the clouds and the sky. It's so weird, man, but honestly, it's strange.
yeah,
It's something I can't explain to someone who's never really done it, you know? It's almost like you feel like
it's
you're
like you got
being
to see it to believe
yeah,
it type
you
shit.
feel like you're being embraced like by the world.
well,
It's
for me, I
it's
don't
some
see
it's something different, man.
besides the fact of you wanting to just feel something different. I don't really get the reason why you'd want to take it though.
Bro, I just told you about how this trip changed my fucking
But
way I
like
see the world and see life in general. And you're like, oh, it's okay. You
it,
fucking
it
asshole.
just doesn't seem like something you should need to take, you know?
Oh, you don't need to. It's
You
just
don't
something
need to.
that
If you're really good at self-reflection and you're really good at understanding yourself, you don't need to take it. But the thing is, I'm not.
So you
I'm flying at 100 miles an
so you
hour
say
all the
it
time. I'm
helps.
focused on 70 different things. I can't like it's hard for me to take that time and just and understand how I'm feeling. It's hard for me because I don't have a lot of time to do shit like that. But when I took it, it just put me in that zone for hours. And I was just thinking about how I felt about things and how things affected me, but also just like how beautiful the world is. And
yeah.
you take it for granted.
So you're saying that it basically helped you slow down and to
It helped me put things into perspective.
think about things deeper and
Not just deeper, but think about things differently. Think about things like how I think they're supposed to be thought
I
about.
think hallucinogens just like the main thing they do is it takes away your ability to procrastinate things a lot.
I think it just takes away your ego, man. It's called ego death. You should look into it. It's very interesting, and that's exactly what I experienced. Because I would think, oh, you know, I'm not gonna let my fucking emotions stop me from becoming the best I can be, which I still feel that way. But the thing is, you have to give your emotions their own space to breathe, or else you'll break down. You'll
so
fucking freak out.
so death is a complete loss of subject self identity.
Yeah,
So you
you feel like you're outside of yourself, literally.
does that mean you're seeing yourself from an outside
You're
perspective or
yes, you're looking at the person you are very objectively, and you're not. Nothing is getting in the way of it.
so
Like
Are you trying to change? So when you take it, are you trying to change yourself?
No, you're not
Because if
necessarily.
you see
And
yourself from an outside perspective, that makes you want to see your insecurities and
yeah,
your
for sure.
what your
It's
benefits.
listen,
So
listen. It's important to know these things. It's important to know yourself because really, I mean, honestly, Cole, if you think about it, what do you have in this life besides yourself?
you have
What do you
family.
have?
You have family.
Sure, you have family. You have family and you have friends and what else? What else? What else matters? What else can you take with you when you go? You got to
Your
be
experiences. I mean,
yeah, but you have to know what's going on within yourself. You can't just like take that shit for granted because it's important, man. Because your reality is your reality and that's it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I get it. Oh. I just wanted to pick your brain out and see how you know.
Yeah. But I'm not done telling the story of my fucking trip, okay?
Okay.
It's not even close to being done. All right?
Jeez. Okay.
So after the second park, we'll make this a two-parter. Tell me when I should stop. Should we
No.
just like
We're gonna keep this. It's gonna be a long one. It's just
this is gonna be a long podcast?
Yeah.
Good, good.
So hold
This will
on.
get some
Before
fucking
before you
views
get into
too.
the good part, if anybody's still watching, you like
Comment down
Anybody's
below.
still
Comment down below beefsteak if you're still watching.
Yeah, comment beefsteak and I
And
mean,
then we'll
if you're
know.
watching so far, you obviously like the story, so drop it a like, drop us a
I might
sub,
just
I
be a
mean.
shitty storyteller. But listen. So we're chilling at the park, and then they're like, "Let's go, let's get out of here," you know. And I was like, "Okay." At this point, I was just agreeing with
So
whatever
did you
they
guys
said.
go to another park?
Why the
No,
fuck did I say beefsteak?
because it was getting real dark, so we just went back to his house. And when we got there, he was like, "You got to sit in this chair right here." It was this little camping chair in the corner. It was facing the TV. And he was like, "This is a trip chair." And I was like, "Shit, all right, I'll sit there."
Wait, hold up, a trip chair.
Yeah, the tripping chair. It's just this little red camping chair. And so I sat there and we just like, we flipped on Rick and Morty for a little while. We watched that. It was funny. You know, it's funnier when you're tripping on acid for sure. I don't really like it when I'm just fucking watching it. This
So
is what
was there anything special about a TV show?
it was just the colors were so vibrant and like I couldn't really follow the story of what was going on, but I kind of got it like because of their fucking body language and shit. Like it was weird. I noticed shit that I wouldn't notice. But I was so focused on the very minute details that I couldn't follow the like story. But then we just started listening to music and that's when like I had the best time. It's just when I was just sitting there. I was just sitting there like this.
So wait, was the music
Just
distorted
vibe
at
and
all, or
music. Huh?
was the music like distorted at all?
No, it just sounded amazing. Like every song was just like, and then we were talking about fucking J. Cole and about how he used to be better than he is now and like just random shit and we would go into like an hour-long conversation about it.
So wait,
And
did you ever eat during this?
no, you're not focused on shit like that. Like you're just not. You don't like it and it's literally like a 12-hour experience. You have to eat right before, I think. I mean, I know I did.
So you don't get hungry during it?
No, you don't get hungry or thirsty. You have to like force yourself to drink almost.
That's kind of weird. I didn't know.
It's
that.
not weird. It's just like your mind is not on shit like that. It's on like
But that's
crazy.
like something people always think about. They always think about eating. Most people.
Yeah, but it's not.
So-
It's not in your mind at that point.
I didn't know that. That's weird.
Yeah, you gotta, bro. We gotta do it, man. Listen, we can spend the night at my house.
I don't
We
know
can
about
just
that.
go out by the river. We could do it. We could do it.
Dude, I'm hella down.
You're down?
I'm hella down for that.
I'll watch you guys trip. I don't
Wait.
think I don't think I'm
Sure,
gonna.
you can go get us food, dude.
We won't
He
want
just
it.
said that you
We won't
I know,
want it.
but like if you put food in front of someone that's tripping, you don't think they're gonna eat that shit?
They won't. They won't. It'll feel weird eating it. I guarantee you.
It's
It'll be
gonna like turn into a squid
Well,
or some shit.
when
No,
you're-
You're just
no,
gonna,
no.
like,
when you
chuck
just
it
said
back
it
into
was-
the water.
Well, since
Huh?
everything's more like vibrant and colorful, do you think the food would taste better?
Probably.
Is it like a Munchies type deal?
Nah, not like that. Because
Because
munchies, the
munchies, you're
food
like
doesn't
craving
really.
it.
Yeah, the
Munchies, you
the food
wanna
doesn't
eat.
really taste better when you got the munchies. It's just like, man, I want to eat and jerk off and go to bed. Like that's just what you're thinking.
Well then, yeah. Then I feel like it would probably taste better then.
Bro, let's talk about the munchies, man. Like I love that shit.
Or do you want to finish your story?
Oh yeah, I can finish my story.
then we'll go on.
So the whole time I had not looked in the mirror, because they say don't look in the mirror when you're tripping, because like you'll see some like not that you'll see like not like it'll scare you, but it's just like your reflection looks weird, and I agree because I was we went out to the car, and they rolled another blunt, and we were just sitting there,
So wait, hold up.
and I looked in the what?
So like when you drink beer and you smoke weed, you get cross tie. Do you get cross tie with
Crossfade.
or crossfade? That's what I meant. Do you get crossfaded when you smoke and?
Nah, it's the same type of. I mean, like, it just keeps your trip going. To be honest, like, smoking a little bit when you're tripping just keeps it going. Like, taking a hit every once in a while, you just like your peak stays up there for a little bit longer. But
It's like taking a shot when you're drinking. It just like makes it like it boosts it a little more. Like it boosts your buzz a little more.
Okay.
But so we were chilling in the car, and me and Martin were having this conversation. I can't remember what we were talking about now because I'm like, you just like don't remember shit like that. You just remember the feelings you had. That's it. That's all you can remember. But I looked over at the mirror, and like my face, it was like gray, and like I had just big black circles, no eyes, and like I was looking at my neck, and it was all like stretched out, and I was like, what the fuck? Like it was freaking me out. Like now I understand why they say don't look at yourself in the mirror, because it was so weird. Like,
Would you recommend it, or would you like look in the mirror? Or?
Maybe at like the very end of your trip when you're coming down, just like
just to see it.
For the experience of it.
when I
just for shits and giggles.
Because that's what I did, and it didn't really fuck up the energy. I was just like, that's weird, and I just.
Oh, that's why, because it'll make you like paranoid and shit.
And it would just probably freak you out. Yeah,
badger.
No, I said
because
a bad trip.
I'll tell you another story in a second, but to end off that story, we were just chilling in the car, and I was like, okay, Martin took off. It was just me and Mateo at his house, and I was like, man, I don't think I could drive home. Like, I'm still like kind of.
Martin's a fucking trooper for that one.
Yeah, he's a trooper in general. Like, he's a
damn.
He's a
he
good
drove home
guy.
after an acid trip. What a guy.
But listen, so I realized how late it was. It was like 3 a.m. I was like, damn, dude, I got a baseball game at 9 a.m. tomorrow. And he was like, all right, well, just get to sleep now and you can head up in the morning. I was like, all right, bet. So I fell asleep, woke up. I set an alarm for like fucking 7. Woke up at 7, off like 3 hours of sleep, and I just like taken acid. I went to the game, and I pitched like really well at the game too. It was so weird because like I just felt like I can put the ball wherever I wanted. Like it was so strange. But
I mean, you were probably still somewhat off of it. I don't know.
Nah, I was just a little bit loopy and hungover.
I mean, unless you were just in a good headspace.
It wasn't really a hangover. It was just I felt like groggy the next day and kind of loopy.
Yeah, but maybe you were, because pitching's like it's kind of mental in a way.
Yeah, I threw down a Red Bull and went out there and I dominated.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
It was great, man. but I honestly think it made me a better person as a result. And I'll say that, and I don't give a fuck what you two have to say about it. I think it made me a better person. I think it made me realize
Say
wholeheartedly
anything
agree.
on that because I haven't done it. So that's
I
your.
Cole's
wholeheartedly
just a little
agree.
bit of an altar boy. That's all. Cole's a little bit of an altar boy.
I
True, you are the type of guy that would watch somebody trip and not actually like trip.
don't want to.
Bro.
I don't want to.
Cole doesn't even smoke. Like, you don't even smoke weed.
No, I don't feel the need to.
You will once
I'm
you start doing it.
No, I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine as it is. Why would I need to?
Yeah, but it's good,
you
man.
do it to make yourself feel better, right?
Not necessarily.
Then
Sometimes you just do it
to
to.
feel
It's like
good.
drinking. You don't drink all the time to make you feel better. You just do it to have a good time.
Yeah, but
That's when you're really fucked up, when you start drinking to make you feel better.
yeah,
Jesus Christ.
That's
that
that hello
alcoholic, though.
darkness, my
That's that-
friend.
That's that Colton Chenard level drinking. I'm not into that.
Hey.
That's what I'm saying. I don't. Right now, I don't feel the need to do it. So that's why I do it.
Hold on, check out that separation.
And also,
Jeez.
I don't know if it does anything to your lungs, but I also don't fuck with my lungs. I don't like to. So
Jawline check. What?
yeah, jawline.
It's not like
check in
anybody
the-
could see it anyways.
darkness.
Listen, man. Weed does fuck with your lungs. I don't give a shit though. You smoke like a little bit, just casually with your friends. You're not gonna get lung cancer. Jesus.
I don't know.
I was just
don't-
worried that his
that's the
parents will
thing.
kick him out of the house.
No, it's I've said that for about anything. I never want to fuck with my lungs. That's just
Listen,
what
what
it
if you can cut this out of the podcast because you probably will want to, but all right, do you stop recording right now?
No, you can say it. I'll cut it
Just
out
say it,
if
dude.
If we want to.
All right, imagine this: you're smoking a joint with your best friend Maddie, and you guys are just feeling those good emotions, and you like one thing leads to another, and like you're just horny off of weed, and you just bang. That'd be freaking amazing, right? I feel like it would be.
No, that would not.
And then her boyfriend beats the shit out of you the next day, but at least you got to bang
just
that.
wouldn't happen. That just wouldn't happen.
Yeah, what?
You think you could take him?
Yes, I think I could take him.
Oh, I could take him. Hold
That
on.
dude's weak.
Look at that.
I don't care. That dude's weak. And yeah, anytime. But
All right, since that's cut out of the podcast. All right, we're back.
no, that's staying in.
That's staying in, man.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be
Dude,
something worse.
Cole doesn't care about shagging Maddie anymore, man.
He's been doing that
said
shit since
that.
second
I
grade,
don't
boy.
get what, and this is what happens whenever I see Ben. He talks about it every time.
You talk about banging?
Talk about Maddie.
Hey, man, I see what I see.
You even said it at the field. So
Yeah, didn't you
because
try to
don't think
convince
I was
him
gonna bring that shit up on the pod?
that he loves
Come
you?
on.
so
Didn't you try to convince him that he loves Maddie?
yeah,
Yeah, of course.
He tries to, but
Because that's the greatest love story of this generation,
everybody thinks.
and everyone knows it, man.
Everybody thinks.
I don't
so.
know. Trevor and Greta
Does she
is a
listen
pretty
to
good
this
one
pod?
too.
I don't think she does.
Tell her to listen to this app with her boyfriend.
All right,
Just for this little fucking cameo.
I'll let her.
Tell her to fucking see my fucking biceps too. Jesus. The separation is crazy, huh?
Ben, I feel like you just look in the mirror and jerk off to yourself.
Hey, I'm not gonna deny
Yeah,
it.
maybe when Ben's older and he's got his own house, he's probably gonna be the type of guy to have a bunch of pictures of himself.
Narcissistic ass.
Listen.
Hey.
I work fucking tirelessly for this body, so I'm gonna fucking show it off, okay? I work out 6 days a fucking week and eat dark chocolate instead of candy bars, okay?
Dude.
So yeah,
Dark chocolate is good.
dark chocolate is
yeah,
good
but
if
not
you're
to
a
pound
fucking
a whole chocolate
psychopath.
bar.
I love a fucking chocolate bar every now and then.
No, not a dark chocolate bar though.
I could down a dark chocolate bar.
Listen, I'll take down anything. Fucking milk chocolate, dark chocolate, white
That's
chocolate.
not hella gay. I'll
So
take
what?
down anything.
But dude,
What, bro?
dark chocolate, you can have a little bit of it, but after a while,
You don't
I think,
swing that way, Colton?
uh,
I've heard you say some wild shit in the past.
Maybe.
That's sucking.
maybe even on the pod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've said some
You don't want to
suck
go
shit
back
on
to
the
that
pod.
second part of
I
my
mean,
first
you made a
appearance
song,
on here.
you know.
Yeah, you made a song about sucking.
So
No,
I mean,
it
it's
wasn't.
cool.
It's about fucking someone's mom.
No, it's about showing
No,
your
listen.
stuff.
It's about showing my genitals to somebody's mom,
Listen,
and they would
listen,
enjoy
listen.
it.
I had the best line of that song, but the thing is, we're not going to sing it here. The point is,
Knock.
the end
already
cap
have. I
on
think
what I'm
we already went
saying.
over
The,
this.
the
Yeah,
end
we already
cap
talked about
on
this.
what I'm saying. The overarching theme of what
Oh,
I'm
here comes
saying.
another train, by the way.
The overarching theme of what I'm saying is, and this is very simple. Train. Train can be involved in this conversation too. He can interrupt.
On a Polar Express.
You fucking. You got something to say, you piece of shit?
Yeah,
I was singing the Polar Express.
Okay. Anyways.
Dickhead.
All right. Well,
what were you trying
my
to say?
point. Jesus, I'm trying to get to it. You motherfuckers won't stop talking over me. Am I clear to talk?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You're good.
Train, am I good? All right. So, the overarching theme of what I'm saying is you obviously don't need acid to realize the things that I realized about myself. You don't need it, obviously. But I'm just saying that my experience on it was life-changing and it was great. That's all I'm saying.
I thought we
I'm
went
not
over
saying
this.
I'm not saying
Yeah, we
go out
already
and
talked.
do it. I'm not saying go out and do it because you got a lot of fucking young impressionable kids listening to this. Fucking 18-year-old douchebags.
Hey, man, we clicked that this podcast ain't meant for kids, so they can fuck off.
No,
Yeah,
dude. You still have a responsibility for your listeners to uphold fucking whatever, bullshit. You guys got good mics. You have to be responsible. I'm using a PlayStation mic so I can say whatever.
Obviously, we don't want kids to use drugs, but like, it's like you gotta
Listen, if you're
know that
20
for
years
yourself.
old and you just broke up with your girlfriend and you're about to go pitch in a summer league baseball game the next day, do acid. See where it takes you. See where the day takes you. You might have the best day of your life, and then followed up by a great pitching performance. You might do it. You might be Bennett Wogan. Chances are you're not because you don't have a fucking sick body and a fucking personality of I don't know, man. I'm just saying.
All right, calm down.
Yeah,
buddy,
I'm not trying to brag, but I'm just saying
But you're trying to brag.
Of course I'm trying to brag, man. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling
since
good
you want to
today.
try and brag, let's talk about golf.
So, guys,
Let's talk about golf.
the link to Ben's OnlyFans account will be down in the description.
Oh, dude, I'd make a fortune on OnlyFans. Let's be honest.
Go ahead and start it.
I'll start it. Fuck it. So I have something to plug when I come on this bullshit podcast.
Hey,
I love you guys. I'm just kidding.
So if you guys see a link in the description, go ahead and click.
Just
on
know
it.
I started an OnlyFans, and
But since you wanna like talk your shit, you talk about how you're gonna get
I'll back it up.
You're gonna get clapped in golf tomorrow. I mean,
Oh wait, hold on.
There's no way you're gonna beat me in golf.
I mean, you're
So
gonna
I'm
beat
playing-
me. I'm ass at golf, so.
Listen,
Yeah, you might beat Dom and Colton because they,
hold on, jawline check.
I'm
Hold on.
straight
All right,
cheeks
so
at golf, man.
hold on. All right, so
Jesus Christ, dude! How many trains are coming by tonight? The fuck?
all right.
I mean, how many times are you
Basically,
gonna check
what
out
I'm
your
saying is-
jawline,
All right, it's there. The thing is, you're not gonna beat me in a game of golf. Listen.
I'll take you all 18 holes.
That sounded.
This loud ass train.
You're gonna take me to all 18 holes, dude?
Hey.
It sounded so gay. But listen,
That's some kind of gay slur.
yeah, it is some kind of gay slur. And listen, dude, you're not gonna do shit to me, first of all, because ask Trevor Riemann. That was my golfing partner back in the day. I racked shit up.
Bro,
and
why
I
is
was
this
a young
train
kid.
so aggressively loud? What the fuck?
I was a young, skinny kid back then. I've added about fucking 40 pounds since then of straight beef. So I can hit the ball probably 500 yards.
But are you gonna hook it? Are you gonna hook it?
No. Are you kidding me? My shit is straight as an arrow. Just like
Are
my...
you kidding me? You sounded like Doug. No, you sounded like Lorenz. That's a Lorenz line. You kidding me?
Just know my shot is straight as an arrow, dude.
I just
Just
don't know
like
how
my...
I don't know how your putt game is.
My putt game is fucking
Weak.
ridiculous.
Weak.
Ridiculous. Hey, Colton, by the way, do you have any balls and tees I could borrow?
I really don't. I was figuring we
You'll
could
probably
just
be able
stop
to
at
get some
Dick's in the
from-
morning and then...
No.
I'm going to buy some at the pro
Dude,
shop,
is
man.
Dick's even open?
No.
Yeah. Aspen's gonna definitely have them.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy some of the pro shop.
You can buy a bucket of balls for pretty cheap.
Look, man, we sound
I mean,
like the
we're gonna meet 'em
whitest guys in
probably.
history right now, talking about fucking golf.
I mean,
And
we're gonna
that's
probably
fine.
need a bucket or two. We might have to hit the driving range before, you know.
Yeah, I definitely want to hit the driving range, dude.
So actually,
Because
we'll
how
probably
long
have
are we
to-
gonna be there?
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to leave a little bit.
Dude, we're gonna be there 4 hours at least. We're playing 18 holes, boy.
I mean,
I'm
yeah,
excited. I'm excited to kick your fucking corpse around the course, Cole.
I mean, I think I'm gonna be on no hours of sleep, and I'm still gonna kick your ass. So
You're gonna kick my ass.
on no hours of sleep.
Are we
yeah.
are we hopping at breakfast before or what?
Might as well. Are we having a
Going to
breakfast
IHOP?
and a Hooters?
I'll
for-
put my dick in between your third and fourth pancake and your stack at Denny's, okay, guy?
Oh,
No.
that just sounds like a good
well,
pancake to me.
All I gotta
mean,
tell you this is these two
What?
guys, Dom and Colton, they're not gonna go to Denny's.
What?
I'll go to Denny's. I never said Denny's was
bro.
ass. I just said it
Colton
wasn't
will go
great.
anywhere that I take him because I'm his fucking ride.
Is,
Okay?
is Colton
Yeah.
gonna? Would Colton tip? Would he tip him?
Oh my
If they do
god.
good.
I'll tip for all 4 of you motherfuckers.
The only
You
time I
guys-
said I don't tip is for fucking delivery drivers.
Colton
and
said that
You have to
has-
tip
stand
for
by
them
that.
too, you piece of shit. They got
No.
families to feed.
Trevor has said.
No,
that
they
he
don't,
hasn't
dude.
tipped
They're all
in the
like
past.
16.
I was a delivery driver, and if you
Yeah,
didn't tip,
when you
I'd
were like
beat your
16.
fucking ass.
Yeah, but they're still doing a service for you.
Okay, that I paid for already. So fuck off.
Ah,
I don't agree.
I don't agree
I don't
with
care.
that either.
I'm not
But-
tipping somebody that's
but
like
Trevor has
fucking
said
4
that-
years younger than me $2. He can eat a dick.
Trevor has said in the past that you haven't.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
Trevor's retarded because I paid for him and fucking Jesus multiple times, and I've tipped right in front of him, and he's just talking out of his ass, and he knows that I paid for him. And I hope his bitch ass is watching this podcast because I'll never go out to eat with him again if he says I don't tip again.
Jesus, dude, you're a hothead.
He got it
No,
on
because
that.
that's ignorant as fuck. Because I've tipped right in front of him before I beat him. Like, cut and get you tip.
Yeah, what's going on with him, huh? Is he banging chicks?
I hope so, man.
Good for him.
Who, Trevor?
I bet you he is.
He
I bet
just-
you Trevor gets more ass than you, Cole.
Trevor's a pretty wild stag. I
You
mean,
know, Trevor might get the girls. You know, I'm not gonna doubt him. I mean,
He might get more girls than Colton, to be honest.
hey, man,
maybe even Ben.
I'm cup.
I mean, because.
Oh shit!
I mean,
Oh shit!
Trevor's not out
Okay.
here flexing his muscles. He's doing the sweet
Oh,
talking.
hold on. What the fuck are you doing?
He's not out here flexing. He's doing the sweet talking. You know, he's making.
Oh
moves.
my god!
You know, you're out here flexing, and he's on.
I'm not flexing.
No, jawline check. You know,
Well, that's just because I got some shit to flex.
but like while you're flexing, he's sitting there smooth talking, stealing.
Who's he smooth talking?
I don't. That's what I'm saying.
Girls that I'm not trying to get with.
Greta?
Maybe, yeah, maybe. You know, down to
You,
SIU.
think, you guys think he piped that already?
Bro, he's bending them walls, man.
You think? You think? Actually, nah.
But he's bending them walls.
He's been piping that since 06. I've been telling you this shit.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but
Yeah, that was a
maybe-
very specific
maybe
year.
like-
He's been laying that down
maybe
since.
since 16, but nah.
Both their V cards are gone from each other.
Hmm.
They took each other's V cards. I guarantee it.
I think you're capping.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what you think. How about that?
I mean, I think your jawline's pretty shit.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I mean, when you have to,
Hold on, check out that dimple.
when you gotta look like a
Oh.
fish to check your jawline, you know.
It's not my fault my head is not a fucking square, a perfect square like yours.
Hey, that's how we roll, Cinder Gang, you know.
Who the fuck is what?
Seth's
That
got a
was
cinder
kinda-
block
that was
square
kinda
head,
gay,
I
Cole.
got a cinder block square head.
That was
That's
that's
just how-
that's not
that's
gonna
just-
catch
no,
on.
that's just
That's
how
not gonna
it's-
catch on, dude.
It's how it is, you know.
It was
Cinder
kind of
block-
gay.
Cinder
Not gonna
cinder
lie.
block, you know.
My
You
God.
can think what you want, you know, but at the end of the day, you're sitting here
Hey,
looking like a
all I
fish.
know is we coming to my house after golf to drink or what?
Yeah, if you're fucking supplying the alcohol, yeah.
I
I'll
got
have
you,
some-
man.
I'll have some.
I got a cooler full of Modelo's, man. I got you.
I got some shit we gotta get rid of.
All right, bet. It's a fucking date.
I
Actually,
mean,
I
I don't
mean,
know about down,
I'll take
but
two. I'll drink too because I gotta go. You know, after a while, I got some other shit going on. But hey, you know, I'll stick around for a little bit.
All right, bet.
All right, it's a
Well, you know
date.
what's going on.
It's a date,
It's a hot date, man.
Jawline check. Hold on.
dude. You
Let me
can't. You're in the dark. Stop.
Hold
You're in the dark. You can't jawline check.
You
if
can't see half of
even
your
see-
jawline.
Listen, you're straight talking out of your ass because you
No,
said
no,
Trevor
no,
gives more
no.
girls than me.
I mean,
I mean,
That's-
I don't know. He might.
you might have
Oh
to
my-
shoot him a text, and he might fucking drop some knowledge on you. You know.
You might drop a dick pic in my DMs. Kid loves me.
What do you guys think Trevor would use as a pickup line?
I can pay for your fucking college tuition
Hey,
with me.
I bet you want to know what the square root of my cock in your ass is?
That's not good, Colton. You you ruined it. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's more of a Jesus, but he's got a wife now.
That's a Jesus.
That's dude. He probably used that, and that's how he got his wife.
He's
Fuck you
wifed up, boy. He's living the dream. I mean, not my dream, but a dream.
mean?
He's
That
living a dream.
sounded so harsh.
I don't want to be
Not
married at
my
19.
dream.
Come on, man. But he's living a good
That
life.
that sounded like a dick move.
Come on, not my dream, but a dream.
Yeah, he's living a dream. The dream. He's living a dream.
that was kind of harsh. I can't lie.
Bro, I saw him in Burkott's and he almost cried, man. And I almost did too because man, I don't know why. I don't know, bro. He just like he hugged me. He was like, "What's going on, man? I haven't seen you in such a long time." I was like, "Man, that's a
He still
good
look the same?
friend. That's a good friend
I
right
mean,
there."
hey, he
Does he
needs
still
to be
look
the
the
one
same?
that hosts guys' nights right now, man. He's got his own crib. I mean, the only reason I can't
You
is
got a
because
rib?
yeah, he's got a crib. He's got an apartment.
I thought you
Shit.
said he bought a
I
house.
slide over to the crib, man.
That's what he said. He said that he called it a house like the first day, and then
He's
he
too
was like,
busy throwing his dick in that girl, man. Let him live his own life.
"Oh, dude," but he scared me one time, man. When he was telling us about how he got his house, he was like, "Oh," I was like, "Where'd you move to?" He's like, "Washington Street," but he didn't put the period after the street, so it was just ST. I was like, "Dude, you moved to fucking Washington?"
I think that's just
bro.
you being a
He's making
He's
retard.
like, yeah.
moves.
He's like, yeah, man, we're already here. And I was like, bro, like, am I ever gonna get to see you again? Like, what the fuck?
Crazy how my shoulders just like
Like
go
they're,
past the fucking thing, you know?
It's crazy
they're
how you
kinda
probably got a
small.
boner
They're
for
kinda
yourself right now,
small,
too.
To be honest.
What?
I said it's crazy how
I'd have to
you.
say they're,
I said it's crazy how you
micro-
probably got a
I
boner
mean,
for
I
yourself
can't, I
right now
can't see
too.
him personally.
I've been raging this whole time.
Personally, I
Listen.
don't see anything there.
I can't keep this hard on down to save my fucking life. It might just start raging at the golf course, not because I'm into you guys, just because I get random hard-ons.
For
Like I'm
hours?
fucking
For
14.
hours? I
Literally,
think you're
like
popping a
fucking.
pill then, buddy.
Nah, man,
Yeah.
3 hours just
Chill the Viagra, my guy.
raging.
So
What?
wait, what do you do if
I
you're?
said chill the Viagra, my guy.
Yeah, I mean, you have that at work when you're stocking.
Oh yeah, dude.
You ever knock over a bottle?
Oh fuck, dude. Sometimes I just gotta go to the bathroom to relieve some tension, man. And then,
Quick,
like, I'll take it out. It's
quick
just like,
rub and tug
oh,
at work.
boom. What?
Quick, rub and tug at work.
Ah, man, I don't fuck around with that shit, man. You know, guys, I'm just fucking around.
I don't know.
Oh,
You're
I
saying that
know.
pretty seriously.
I don't actually get
I've walked
raging
into
hard-ons.
Burkott's in a couple.
Do you guys want to see my dick right now?
I
Come on.
think- a couple bottles have been knocked on the ground. I don't know if you're. I don't know if you're.
You don't know if I'm knocking them over with my fucking sundial for a dick?
My sundial. That's a new one.
Come on, dude.
Yeah,
You want to keep talking about this shit, or you want to move on?
to? We can move on.
We can keep going, dog.
That was a bit too much. Sundial,
That was
really?
funny as fuck.
How long have we been recording for?
It's almost about like 40 seconds from an hour. So
You know what though? You know a tin of Morton salt. You know those fucking cylindrical, big,
Mhm.
big salt things. My
Yeah.
dick looks like two of those stacked on top of each other.
Shut the
That's my
fuck
shit.
up.
I'm just letting you know, and it's a flat head too because bear trap accident. You know what I'm saying?
really, because I've heard it's like one of those miniature water bottles.
Yeah, is that what you
I've heard it's like this bottle of lotion right here, man.
Oh.
It, Shit. I don't know who your sources are. I honestly don't know, but you have these source right here that's telling you
The-
that it's not like
I don't
that.
know where your sources.
You see that mic, Cole? It's pretty similar in size. Like, hey, put your face next to that mic real quick. Let me see.
Oh, this mic's kind of small.
Yeah, it's bigger than that.
This mic's about 3 inches.
Put your face next to that mic, Cole.
Okay.
I don't think I want to do that.
All right, let me. I mean,
What about
Jesus
Colton's?
Christ. What'd you say?
What about Colton's?
Colton's working with a fucking hog, I think.
No, I'm just talking about his mic.
I don't give a shit.
He's got a nice little tip for you too.
Colton's fucking uncut too. He's got that fucking sleeve on his shit.
This ain't a sleeve. It's just a sticker.
I'm talking about
On this.
your John, man.
Oh, that sleeve.
Yeah, you got a sleeve on your shit.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Means you're cut.
Yeah, it means you're.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, I appreciate it.
I think
No,
we're
what?
I don't think we're in the best spot right here, so
You can keep going, dude.
I'm good with this actually.
Are you uncomfortable, bro?
I
You
think we're in a-
you were uncomfortable talking about my massive hog?
You don't have a massive. Listen, it's decent. It's not great. Okay, let's not act
What
like
is
you're fucking
decent?
packing a fucking major wood.
Listen, the fact that you would admit that it's decent means that it's pretty fucking big.
Nah, I'm pretty objective when it comes to hogs. I've seen my fair share of hogs. All right.
Here, I got an idea. How about we end this
Oh my
podcast?
lord. Why?
You two can go ahead and compare hogs, and then leave it as that.
I mean,
I've already listen. We've done that a long time ago. And
we've done that too many times, dude. On
We've
some
done
no
that.
homo shit, but still, we've done it.
Listen, I've known Colton a long time. He's basically my fucking brother.
Oh yeah.
And I pull my dick out in front of him. He's pulling his dick out in front of me. It's just what it is. It's not like we fucking sucked him. Come on, what are you,
I
gay,
mean,
Cole?
Who knows what you've done in Colton's old house?
That's true. That's something we don't know.
I mean, the first time I came
Whoa.
over there, I got mooned by Hunter. So
Hunter's got a fucking fat ass.
All right, let's end this podcast.
yeah,
No, let's
if
go.
you guys enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you guys enjoyed, have a
Check
good
out my
night.
OnlyFans down in the
Yeah, check
description.
out-
I'm
check
posting
out
pics
Ben's
of my hog
OnlyFans.
every day this week.
And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.